Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is a 3-day guide to Budapest and I have covered the most famous places you just cannot miss when you are in Budapest. Also, there are some hidden gems and even a secret treasure hunt in the Budapest city that I will tell you about in this vlog. So keep watching. I just reached Budapest! I arrived in Budapest in the month of February 2024 for a 3-day trip. First, I wanted to drop my bags, so I went to my hostel called the Netizen Hostel that I 100% recommend for solo travelers before heading into the town. Day 1, I wanted to explore the Buda side first. For those who don't know, Buda is actually the combination of two historically separate cities, Buda and Pest, which were unified in 1873 to create the capital of Hungary, as we know it today. And I couldn't have asked for a better day to be here. It's sunny and it is amazing to be here. While walking around, I stumbled upon two statues in the garden on Gellért Hill that I really liked. The first one was the King Buda and Queen Pest statue, which symbolizes the two halves of Budapest, Buda and Pest, personified as a king and queen. This poetic interpretation of the city was so unique. I walked further to find yet one more excellent collection of the statue called Garden of Philosophy. It is a thought-provoking monument of Jesus Christ, Buddha, Laozi, Abraham, Akhenaten, Mahatma Gandhi. And it's a beautiful representation of a unified human thought and spiritual connection as interpreted by the Hungarian artist who designed this. Next, I walked to the Buda Castle Garden Bazaar. Although the name suggests it's a bazaar, but it is a garden. One can lose themselves in thoughts while walking through this neo-Renaissance garden. I spent quite some time here, but I didn't plan to. Although the backdrop of Danube River was like a painting on a canvas, and it felt like I was walking right through a dream. I headed towards the Buda Castle next, and a lot of it was unfortunately under construction, so I could not go in, but the view from the castle is worth all the climb. At sunset, Budapest transforms itself into a masterpiece. Bathed in hues of gold and rose, each moment a brushstroke of unparalleled beauty. From the heights of Buda Castle, the city really reveals itself. Next in the agenda was Fisherman's Bastion. Now, being from India and being completely obsessed with Bollywood, I have seen this location in many Bollywood movies and I knew I could not miss this location. And this location did not disappoint. Fact is, this place gets its name from the Fisherman's Guild in Budapest during the Middle Ages that was responsible for defending this section of the city's walls during the battles. While the current structure is modern, it's named in honor of their historic role. It was time to head back to my hostel, but the evening was still young, so I went looking for restaurants for an early dinner and I found this quiet Persian place called Rumi and I went in. The food was delicious and interestingly full of cats. After that, I headed towards the famous ruin bars. Now that is something you cannot miss if you are in Budapest. Coincidentally, the ruin bars were just few streets away from my hostel, and I would say that if you are visiting the ruin bars in Budapest and had to go to only one, it has to be Zimplakat. It is the most iconic ruin bar, as you can see. I went to 2 more ruin bars which were on the next street, and also most of the ruin bars are around the same place, so they are not so difficult to navigate. These bars, however, has a painful history as these buildings used to be the Jewish quarters that were abandoned because of World War II. Day 2 started with visiting the most famous cafe in Budapest called the New York Cafe. Now, there's always a huge line to enter this place, but if you manage to get up early, then visit at the opening time in the morning, you would find it empty like we did. We took a nice brunch there and a couple of good pictures. The food was average though, but we stayed for the vibe. Next, I visited one of the hidden gems in Budapest, Szabo Ervin Library. It is the largest public library in Budapest. This library is special because it is actually inside a palace, so it combines the elegance of a palace with the intellectual allure of a grand library. It also has stunning chandeliers, intricate woodwork, and soaring ceilings that gives an appearance of a royal palace and heaven for book lovers. You can also come here and study or work remotely from this place or simply browse through the books. Entry fee to this library is for non-members 1700 Hungarian forint, which is around 4.2 euros per person, and you can spend here almost the entire day. I think it's a good deal. After a short pause for lunch at another nearby cafe, I went around exploring more the best side of Budapest. I visited the Jewish quarters again to spot the famous graffiti art spread across the house walls. Street art in Budapest often reflects the city's cultural and political history, mixing humor, social commentary, and abstract designs. I think it's a great way to understand a city from the eyes of their artists, and I found the art to be quite insightful of Budapest's culture. Strolling through the streets of Budapest is like walking through an open art gallery. Every turn leads you to another time. Then I ate some real Hungarian food from a local shop and walked right into the heart of the city, which has the giant Ferris wheel in Budapest, also known as the Budapest Eye. Then I walked from there to St. Stephen's Basilica and then via Hungarian State Opera House. I loved how easy it was to explore Budapest on foot. At places I also took the public transport, but everything was very well connected. I've heard so much about the beauty of Budapest at night by the Danube, so I headed towards the chain bridge and it was an absolute spectacle. I had a cruise booked in an hour to look at these bridges even more closely. I booked my cruise from Get Your Guide, and no, it is not a paid promotion, but I highly recommend you this website for booking your experiences. My cruise cost me 20 euros and came with a wine serving. You get the most out of your Budapest experience in this cruise because you can see almost all the important bridges of the city. Chain Bridge, Liberty Bridge, and Elizabeth Bridge, and I guess Margaret Bridge as well. At night, the Hungarian Parliament becomes a vision of glided grandeur, standing as a crown jewel upon the banks of the Danube. I had covered most of the places in the last few days, so on day 3, I was interested to see the Hungarian Parliament building this time, up close, and also go around the area. I found quite a few interesting, humorous, and also thought-provoking sculptures in this area. For example, the Shoes on the Danube Bank Memorial is a memorial. It consists of 60 pair of bronze shoes placed along the river bank, symbolizing the Jewish victims who were shot by the arrow crossmen and fell into the river. This haunting and emotional sculpture evokes deep reflection on Hungary's wartime history. Now, as promised, one of the most exciting and geeky things to do in Budapest is this Mihály Kolotko's mini statues. If you search for Mihály Kolotko's mini statues in map, it will show you all the location where you can find them, but mind you, they're really tiny, so you have to really search for them. You could literally go on your own little treasure hunt looking for them. Lastly, to replenish from all the walk, I wanted to visit the famous Budapest spas. Although the most famous one is Sheni Thermal Bath and also the largest one, I wanted to have a bit more of a luxurious experience, so I chose Gallert Spa because the spa has been like a key part of Budapest wellness culture for over a century. It cost me around 9,000 Hungarian forints, so approx 25 euros. So that was all from my Budapest 3-day trip. I hope you enjoyed, and if you found this video informative, do support me by hitting the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more personalized travel itineraries. Hope to see you on my next adventure. Till then, bye!